Hey everybody, it's Mike here at White Turtle Adventures. Welcome back to the van. Well, it's finally cooled off a little bit. It's still pretty darn warm. I think right now in the van itself it's about 30 degrees. Outside it's a little bit cooler. I've got the doors open, so if you hear some noises and everything, it's just the birds and people going by. I want to talk a little bit today about batteries and about powering your alternate home. I've heard so much misinformation. So let's go through some of the facts and try to get through some of the garbage that's been put out there by so many people. Now, if you have a home like a van, an RV, or anything that you drive, there's many different ways that you can power that. So honestly, the first thing is you don't even need a battery. You can get a flashlight that takes a couple batteries. You don't need to have a lot of batteries or a lot of battery power or anything like that in your vehicle. You don't have to have any. You can just get a flashlight and use that for your light. Now, for many people, that's not going to work. People want to be able to plug in their phones and charge them. People want to have fans going, especially in this heat. People want to be able to have different things and they want some power. So if not having a battery is not going to work for you, you can actually just take your battery power from your vehicle battery. Now, there's a lot of problems with that, but there's a lot of good things with it. Done it for years. My father's done it. Many people I know have done it. Here's a couple of the problems with it. The very first thing is if you take too much too much power from your battery, then what's going to happen is in the morning when you go to start your vehicle, it's not going to start because you're going to have a dead battery. So there's obviously problems with doing that. A vehicle battery is designed to give a lot of power for very short times. It's not designed to be something where you draw power from on a long-term basis. So it's not going to be the ideal, but it will work. The big thing is the starting of the car or the vehicle the next morning. That's your biggest thing. The battery itself will be drawn down some, and it will lose some of its ability if you do it over the long term. But I know many people for years who have done it. So that's your first thing that you can do. Second thing is that you could add another battery to your vehicle, just like your regular starting battery. So you'd have two different batteries, and you can have one battery that is isolated from the starter battery. It will charge while you're driving. It will do everything that's supposed to do. But when you shut the vehicle off at night, it stops sending the voltage back to the starter battery, and it doesn't draw from the starter battery. So the benefits to that is it's a separate battery, and if you draw it down too far, then you've drawn it down, but you can still start your vehicle with the other battery. The drawback again is if it's the same as your starter battery, it's not designed to be used to draw from over a long period of time. So that's a problem. Now, another thing that you can do, and my dad did this for years. He went to junkyards. He'd pick up a battery for $5 or $10 from a vehicle, regular vehicle battery. He'd charge it up at home, and he would use it for a few days when he's on the road without even having it hooked up to his vehicle. You could do that as well. Now, all of these have drawbacks. All of these have some issues. If you want to go a bit more in depth, then you get into what's called a deep cycle battery. What a deep cycle battery is, in the truest sense, is it's designed to put out voltage over a long period of time, and it's designed to be recharged on a regular basis, and it will always keep its capacity if it's done right. Whereas a starter battery from a vehicle is not designed to be drawn down over long periods of time. Now, again, it will work, but it's not ideal. If you go with a deep cycle battery, that's exactly what they're designed to do. Now, there are deep cycle batteries that are also called starter batteries. It's sort of 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. It works, it's not ideal, but it will do both things. I use deep cycle batteries that are separate from the vehicle starter battery. Now, this is getting more into also like your off-grid homes. Deep cycle batteries will work very well to power things. But in the true sense of that battery, they're not designed to start the vehicle. Like I said, there's hybrid, but a true deep cycle battery for powering a house is designed just for that. Now, that's what I use in my van here. I have 2 batteries that start my van. I have 2 batteries that are separate that power the back of the van. Neither of them do the other one's job. The ones that start the van are designed just for that. They're a starter battery. The deep cycle batteries in the back are designed to power my fridge, my furnace, my lights, and everything else that I plug into them. They work well for that. Now, you don't have to go one or the other. You don't have to be sold anything. Figure out what's going to work for you. Now, when you get into deep cycle batteries, you're going to hear 3 different terms. You're going to hear flooded, you're going to hear AGM, and you're going to hear lithium. And there are a few other ones, but honestly, those are your top 3. On those top 3, a flooded battery is just like your vehicle battery, and it needs to be vented. When it gets charged, it can off gas. It needs to be vented. An AGM battery is designed to be put in a vehicle, and it does not need to be vented. That's why it's made. It is designed to be sealed. It is designed to be mounted whichever direction you want to mount it. And the only time it will off gas is if there's something wrong with your charging system and you're boiling the battery. But in regular operation, it is safe to have within an enclosed space without a venting system. Then the other one is a lithium battery. Now, I'm going to talk about them all really quickly here and just give you some good and bads and so on and so forth. First of all, the flooded battery. The flooded battery, the good news is they're the cheapest to get. The bad news is you need to have them vented. They need to be mounted upright. That's about it. We can go into a lot of other stuff, but that's the main things right there. AGM batteries. AGM batteries designed to be mounted in a side, do not need to be vented. A little bit more money, can be bounced around, can be mounted sideways, so on and so forth, and that's what they're for. Then we get to lithium batteries, and this is where we start getting into a lot of the garbage that people are putting out there. Lithium batteries are a more expensive battery. You do get more power from a battery that is lithium, because it can be drawn down lower than the other types of batteries, but you're spending much more money for them. You don't need a lithium battery. You can get away with the other types if used correctly. Yes, lithium will give you some benefits, but lithium is extremely expensive when compared to the other types. When compared to a flooded battery, a lithium battery is a lot more money. As an example, a Group 31 battery, which is an average size battery for putting into an RV, as a flooded battery, you're looking around $100 to $200. As a AGM battery, you're looking around $150 to $300. When you get into lithium, you're looking $1,000 to $2,500, depending upon the manufacturers and the specs and so on and so forth. So understand, many of the people that are trying to push you towards lithium are only doing it because they're being sponsored by the lithium battery companies. They're not saying that it's the best there is. They're saying it's the best there is because we're getting paid to say that. So please understand, there's a lot of bad information out there. And the biggest thing is that you don't need lithium. There are benefits of lithium, but there are drawbacks. The second drawback after the price is this. A lithium battery has issues when it's cold. Now, some of the manufacturers are putting in these control units. Some are putting in heaters into them. Some are putting in this, that, or the other thing into them. But there's still issues. Do they work? Yes, but they have issues. A flooded battery, an AGM battery, does not have the same issues. but a lithium will give you more power. That for the same size batteries, you'll get double the amount of power from a lithium that you will an AGM. But there's a lot more price involved. But it will not work in extreme cold. But. So there's issues to all of that. Now, the final thing that I see a lot of are these battery packs. And I'm not going to name brands, but you'll see them advertised because they have a lot of people out there that are promoting their products because they're getting paid to promote it. And the problem is that they do work. They're a lithium system, so they have a lot of benefits to them. But they're expensive, and you don't need them. I see so many times people talking about them saying, you have to have one if you're an RV, or you have to have one if you live in a van. You have to have one if you live in an ambulance. You have to have one if... No, you don't. There are benefits again. There are things that work with them, but there's a lot of issues with them. Biggest one being the price. The second one being is you still need to charge it somehow. The third one being is you have a whole separate unit that you've paid for an inverter on, that you paid for all the different plugs and everything on, and you're limited to that device that you've bought. So think before you go and commit yourself to one battery system or the other, and you'll be much, much happier. So until next time, have a great day, stay cool, and we'll see you out and about. Bye-bye now.
Thank you for watching my video. If you like this video, please click on the like button, which is the thumbs up button. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please click on the subscribe button and then click on the bell next to the subscribe button so you'll be notified when any new videos are uploaded. Thank you and have a great day.